Good afternoon, everybody. Today's Sunday, the 17th of May, and we're preparing for week 4 at school. We'll be entering into another week of the phase 1 managed return to school tomorrow. So it means that school will look very much like it did last week, with each student attending 1 day per week in their house groups, exactly the same as last week. We do anticipate there'll be some changes next week as we head into week 5, but we're still waiting on a bit of confirmation from the Department of Education and the New South Wales Government. So our thinking is that there will be a fairly significant update for the community around the middle of the week about week 5 operations and a fair bit of planning at a school level about what that will look like. The good news for us is that we learnt from all the little mistakes last week, and anything that's gone wrong has been fixed. Not a lot went wrong, which is just great. So probably the things we need to just remember and keep on top of are how we're using the Mariana Street gate. So in the morning, the students arrive through all 3 gates and they find their way to class like it's a rainy weather type arrangement. I hadn't pointed out to everyone that we do still have a breakfast club. It's not quite the same as normal, so rather than going into the breakfast club room, the students can just call through area 5 and we'll have some toast available for them, and they can have that as a takeaway option. The other thing we need to just keep on top of is how we're using the canteen. So there's still no over-the-counter sales. The best option, of course, is to order via the app, or failing that, to use one of the brown paper bags, put the money in, have it written on the front exactly what's involved, and the students can drop that in a box on the way past the canteen as they enter, or they'll be collected from the classroom and sent down by us. So that is certainly possible, but there are no over-the-counter sales. The afternoon's probably the bigger arrangement thing to be aware of. We're doing it just the same as last week. The older siblings in years 3, 4, 5, 6 will be sent off to the infant centre of the school to collect their siblings, and they will then leave as family groups through either Bougainville or Copeland Road. The Mariana Gate is reserved exclusively for students in kindergarten year 1 and year 2 who have no siblings in years 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's just something to be very aware of, is if you've got children who are in kinder, year 1 and year 2 with no older siblings, Mariana is where you'll need to meet them. The only other things to be very mindful of are the social distancing, and we manage that within the schoolyard fairly well. We've got a lot of protocols in place, as you're aware of, but I do need to ask for some cooperation around how everyone's lining up outside the gates. And we do have the yellow lines painted on the ground. That's to assist with everyone keeping spaced out along the footpath. If we have social distancing rules not respected, it is going to make it very difficult for us as a school. And the worst case scenario would be that someone actually got sick. And as you can imagine, if someone gets sick and there's a contact tracing and relates to those rules not being followed, school would obviously be shut for a period while cleaning would happen. And it would mean that it would be very hard for us to maintain our current approach. So if you can help me out, that would just be fantastic. If there's anything that you're not sure about, an email inquiry or a telephone call to the office is the best way to go about doing that. We are still trying to limit our traffic on the school site, and that includes the office. So using those non-contact methods would be best for us. So from me, I do hope everyone has a great start to the week. We're very happy to see those quarter of the students back. It's been really good for us, and I'm sure it's been really good for them as well. And I do anticipate an update will be available in the second half of the week. But the same as this, I'll post it on the website and I'll send everyone an SMS so that you're aware that it's there as soon as we have a direction that's come out of the Department and the New South Wales Government. So from me, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a great start, and I'll talk to you later in the week. Thanks.